This is a video concerning the giveaway that Superfly Fat Guy 859 is doing. And he wanted us to talk about our fond memories of our dads. And I have a lot of them. I don't think that this is necessarily a fond one, but it was a lesson where we learned. And that's what dads are all about. And so I wanted to share this experience with you and hope it will just give you a little bit of glimmer of what my dad was like. Dad had this thing about everything in life being a lesson. When he had a point to make, he would line us 4 kids up and the lecture would commence. He made sure that all of us would understand that everything we did had consequences. We would stand there and listen to whatever he was elaborating about and secretly would roll our eyes. Don't get me wrong, we would listen, but we could not wait for that lecture to end. Unknowingly, Dad would become the subject of one of those life lessons. One day, while Dad was in the garage working on the table saw, he became distracted and a mishap resulted in a small part of his thumb and most of his forefinger being severed. He quickly shut off the saw, grabbed a towel, and wrapped his hand. He came in the house yelling for my mother, who was a nurse. I was walking by the door at the same time, and I saw my dad holding his blood-soaked, toweled hand up in the air. His face was drained of all color. Dad saw me and with an ever slight smile reassured me that he was okay. Mom and Dad went to the hospital immediately while I took care of the boys. That is when I got the call. Mom called me from the hospital and informed me that I had to help Dad out. I was to go into the garage and retrieve Dad's index finger from the sawdust bag. When I got the finger out, I was to package it and give it to our next door neighbor, who would drive it to the hospital. Dear Lord, give me the strength. When I hung up the phone, I found a small jewelry box with cotton in it, and I flew out to the garage. I took down the sawdust bag and I gently moved the sawdust around. Finally, I saw the object of my search all nestled down in the billowy sawdust. I picked the finger up and I was amazed. It looked exactly like it did on my father's hand, but I was holding it in mine. I laid the finger in the box, put the lid on, and gave it to our neighbor who had just arrived. Off she went to the hospital so the surgeon could reattach the finger. Dad's recovery took a few months and it was a success. He decided one day it was time to go back to his woodworking. We all looked at him when he made his announcement. He then lined us all up and began the inevitable lesson on woodworking safety and the consequences of careless actions. As usual, after the lesson, all of us rolled our eyes and off we went, secure in our knowledge that Dad was okay and everything was back to normal. And that is the essence of my father. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this great man.